Guys, welcome back to OSIKANI TV on YouTube once again. Yes, tomorrow, as of the time we are making this video, it's going to be Ghana Black Stars versus Verde. This is going to be our first Afcon match, and it's going to be really interesting. Today, I have with me Saddick Adam, Sports Obama, in fact, my boss. And we are privileged to speak with him on OSIKANI TV. So, welcome to OSIKANI TV.
Thank you very much, my brother.
All right, so going into this game today, we're listening to the coach Chris Hughton and on his general thoughts on the game and everything. What are you also making on what he said in the pre-match conference before we actually come to the game itself?
Well, he wasn't quite clear with respect to tactics and formation and even players that are available for the game. Okay. But as usual, as a manager of his caliber, you expect that he will be quite private with a lot of this, and it's in order just to say this is a very green terrain for Chris Hughton. He admitted at the conference that he will rely on the likes of Andre and Richard Ofori and some quite experienced players there to be able to understand the Afcon properly. He's going to have his first taste tomorrow, so I think he was quite okay at his first presser, but not too open and clear because he doesn't even understand the complications of this tournament.
Okay, that's great. We'll come back to Coach Chris Hughton again, but on tomorrow's game, that's going to be against Verde. How do you see the game? Is it going to be that tough as people are actually assuming?
Well, people are assuming right. Every Afcon game is tough. This is a tournament that bridges the gap between the Top Guns and the Minos. Okay. And it's become quite observable from the recent tournament that there are no Minos in African football. Sure. And the Minos are not just coming into upsets, win one or two games and exit. Some Minos have gone on to win the ultimate. So the Afcon brings about players who have the prominence and those who have the hunger to make mincemeat of the prominent players. So you see Salah coming up against Pico of Verde, and Pico having the better of Salah. You see Mayuka coming up against John Mensah or John Boy, and Mayuka carrying the day. It's happened a couple of times, and so in the Afcon, every game is tough, and I expect Verde to be not the Verde of 10-15 years ago that I watched them in prior, when we beat them by 4-0 at their own backyard to qualify for our first World Cup. Not the Verde that we struggled to beat in South Africa in 2013. I think this is a different Verdean side, and the Black Stars have been very lethargic in recent times. So it will be very difficult. A game, not for Verde to me, but for Ghana.
For Ghana, okay. Now, talking about tomorrow's game, which approach do you think Coach Chris Hughton should actually go into this game with? Because it seems most Ghanaians are not really happy about our recent performances. In fact, under Coach Chris Hughton, in the 10 games that we've played, we are not really convinced about the way we approach games and others. So, how do you want the coach to approach the game tomorrow?
I don't know if he's a bit scared to concede because he's a conservative in terms of approach. He doesn't like to open up, even if the team has the capacity to be expansive. So I believe the coach is trying to rely more on his traditional defensive style, which the Black Stars are not used to. We only got used to under Milo Van Rajevac, and we sat on 10 hooks for so many games.
2010.
Yes, so if Chris Hughton is trying to adapt to that, even under Milo, it was defensive, but they were scoring 1-2 goals because of the sharp nature of our wingers and having a striker who can convert a half chance into full in Asamoah, and having midfielders who were extremely creative like Andre and Kwadwo Asamoah. We don't have them now, or we are not making full maximization of their efforts now. So I believe that Coach Chris Hughton, once is scared to, wants to stick to his traditional approach of defensive. But I think in this Afcon, with the sort of players that we have, sharp wingers, not too good strikers, but at least they can whip in a few crosses. So the approach should be that they should be very open, very possessive, and very offensive. If we adopt to this three, if we are very open, very possessive, like the traditional Ghanaian game, and very offensive, it will be difficult for the Verdeans to take the consolation in that they have held the Black Stars for some minutes, because you are always attacking, and that's the only way you can. You have to fire from all angles to be able to keep them at bay.
All right, that's great. That's great. Now, looking at this current Black Stars team, and coming into this Afcon in Ivory Coast here, what is your honest prediction that Ghana, maybe we are going to reach the semi-finals, we are going to take the trophy home, quarterfinals, anywhere? Like, being honest to yourself,
Yeah.
where do you see Ghana actually exiting the tournament or actually reaching in this particular tournament?
Yeah, to say being honest, I know the cost of not being honest, so you always have to be honest. I believe,
or let me say, being objective.
of course, you have to always be honest when it comes to football because the cost is very expensive for whoever doesn't. But realistically, a quarter-final mark will be very reasonable for the Black Stars. Wow. We haven't reached a quarter-final in the last 2 African Cup of Nations, which is quite unusual. The last time we came to the soils of Ivory Coast, it was a disaster, the Boaké debacle. In '84, we exited in the group stages. So when you combine all these factors and you look at the current state of the Black Stars, a quarter-final reach will be a reasonable target for the team. Then you take it game by game. There are so many people around the team who have said they are coming to win, of course. But I think that we are on paper, we are one of the weakest, and we can get stronger and build the momentum because it's a sleeping giant. You only need one injection to revive the sleeping mode. I think we can, but we need to set a realistic target first. Take it game by game, like Andre said today. Approach every game like it's the final and play the final twice with your energy and effort. That's the only way to go about it. So a quarter-final will be very realistic and reasonable.
Last but one, where you ended, you are saying that we need to twist some few things on this team and we will be back to how we are actually, thinking that we will be. What are some of the few things that you think Coach Chris Hughton or anybody should do on this team for us to get there?
I've listened to the likes of Muntari, spoken to so many of them. It gets to a point where you have to abandon whatever technical, whatever managerial, and take matters into your hands. That is what the Black Stars have lacked in recent times. To me, what we need to do to trigger or find our mojo back is to find a balance. The Afcon is a tournament not for teams with the most potent of attack or players. The Afcon is a tournament that throws in much of surprises. So Ghana, for instance, the expectations are low. You don't have the best of times with the team, but something can happen to trigger. And that's the balance. When the goalkeeper finds the ball and is able to locate a midfielder who can turn around and find an attacker, in 2 seconds you have a goal. If you have a goal, you've opened your team up. So we need to find the balance. 1, the players need to take matters up into their hands. 2, and 3, we pray for luck. It's only 3 weeks. If you find luck, like how Senegal found, Zambia found, Senegal found, Algeria found, you find the luck, you shoot instead of the crossbar, it finds the net. That's how it happens. So I think that we need to find 2, 3 most important things, then luck. If luck is on our side, I'm sure that we will reach the target set.
Thank you on that. Now finally, tomorrow's starting 11 is one that we are actually talking about because it looks like Mohamed Kudus, as of and before today's training session, he has been training individually, so it actually looks like he's going to miss tomorrow's game against Cape Verde. In the absence of Kudus, which player are you expecting him to come in and all the other parts of the starting 11, being the goalkeeper and others? Which players are you expecting them to start tomorrow? And which players are you also expecting them to come in and make an impact in the game, depending on how the game will go?
I don't know about the tenacity, endurance, and the courage of Richmond Lamptey, but I would have preferred to get him in place of Kudus. But the fact that Chris Hughton couldn't even give him few minutes in the game against Namibia clearly indicates that he doesn't have sort of chance to feature in this tournament or to play a significant role in the absence of Kudus. But there is Ashimeru who can play that sort of role. There are so many players on the...
Ransford Yeboah, I think he impressed.
Ransford Yeboah impressed, but to be very honest with the Afcon, players like that without the exposure, without the acclimatization, without the adaptation of the environment, it's very difficult. So from the bench, fine. But anyway, if he starts, that could also be good. So, well, Kudus absent, it will be a very big blow. But I think we have to maintain and manage what we have to get the maximum point out of the game. Whoever replaces Kudus needs to do double or triple the work of Mohamed Kudus, because Mohamed Kudus is a mouthful. Mohamed Kudus in a game, it's mammoth for any opposition. So anybody coming in should do more than Kudus, but we should manage to get 3 points.
That's great. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. This is from Saddick Adams, Sports Obama. He actually manages, or he's the owner, or I would say the CEO of Saddick Adams on YouTube here. And we all know him already, a renowned sports journalist. In fact, one of the best in the country with Angel TV and Angel FM as well. So we would like to thank you.
Thank you very much.
Us on OSIKANI TV Plus.